Hey guys, this time the quick speed shop. I got my Studebaker truck in the shop. We're going to take it for a ride down the road and do a little bit of driving. But you see there right on the center of the bumper, I added a little bit of bling to it, a little accessory bumper guard. It's not for this truck, but we're going to modify it to fit the truck and add another little piece of bling. You got to have your bling and protect the grill at the same time. So let's fire up the old Studebaker and start working on it. All right, bam, here it is. I was just checking the fluids. Haven't changed the oil in apparently 2 years there. So this is pretty much untouched since we went to Carlisle Truck Nationals 2 years ago and got thrown out. That's right, go watch the video. It was controversy, but we're all good. I'm over it now. I go to Carlisle to the swap meets. Here's the remnants of the homemade fluorescent light fixture fan shroud we made. And it had a lot of blow-by, so I got this rag on here. The whole thing's a mess. But it ought to fire up and run good. All right, let's see if it'll start here. Whoa, immediately! Immediately, bro. That's the power of the AMC. And the Chinese knockoff carburetor. Where's my throttle pedal? I can't even see it. That's awesome. We'll let it warm up and we'll take a little trip down the mighty Mississippi. This truck has a weird habit. There's a lot of wind noise in here. This truck has a weird habit of, like, when it's cold, it like slows down and speeds up like it's running out of gas, which is weird. I don't know. Once it warms up, it doesn't seem to do it. But I got to go over to my buddy Jordan's house and pick up my parts. Oh, and the camera's walking all over the place. This is a disaster. Well, after all driving around, that was actually yesterday. Today, I was going to start working on this truck, and then I had a natural gas leak at work. I had to go in and spend 8 hours fixing that. Don't worry, got it taken care of. No explosions. My record is still intact. Gas leaks, 4 or 5. Explosions, 0. Winning. So, I want to do something here. Bam! I've got this accessory bumper guard I probably picked up at Hershey, I would imagine. And it... Are those off center? Is this thing bent? Looks a little bent. Those also look off center. Anyways, it's a accessory bumper guard. It's got a pretty wide bumper cut out in it. It's probably for like a 47 to 54 Chevy truck, I would imagine, maybe. It's kind of twisted and stuff, so I don't feel bad about cutting it up. And I had 30 bucks on it. I don't even know what I paid for, but it's kind of neat because this truck's got a really tall center grill in it, and I think if we put a center grill guard on it here on the bumper, it might look kind of sweet. Studebaker had accessory bumper guards that go actually where this bolt hole is here, but you can see I got these fog lights on here. I think they are they guides or are they Appletons? I think they're guides. My dad powder coated them years ago. They're not hooked up, I just run them for looks, just like the bolt junk onto the front. Originally, when I put this truck together in the late 1990s, it was like street rod was the hot thing. So I had it all smooth. It was in gray primer. The headlights are painted green, light green. I didn't run the bumpers. It was sat this low because it's on a Camaro subframe, but I didn't have anything on the front. And I had painted these gray. These are supposed to be chrome, but they're all pitted. So I filled all the pits with body filler as a kid and painted these green. The turn signals are in here, which this truck would have never had turn signals originally. These just would have been running lights, but I made them into turn signals and running lights. And then put the factory bumper back on it later with the factory license plate bracket. And I found this New York State commercial 1946 plate to run on it. And you can see how wide it is. The commercial plates are really wide way back in the day. The paint used to be a lot nicer on the plate, but it's been out in the weather for years now, so it's kind of these were a 1 year, all license plates all the way up to the, I think, late 50s, early 60s were 1 year only. You'd get a new plate every year, and then they started going to little sheet metal tags, like in 57, 58, you'd get, like, you bought a plate in 57, or 58 maybe, then you get like a 59 metal tag that would cover up the date. And then you'd get another set of plates in 60, then put like a 61 tag on it. And then after that, at some point, they went to metal plates. They went to the blue plates where they would put stickers on them. Actually, I think I can show you. Where is it? I got some examples. Come over here. I don't have any 60s plates, but I got these blue plates. These are in the 70s. So they went to a blue plate with orange, and then you would put a sticker on your, these are, must be front plates here. You put the sticker on the back plate for what the year of the registration was. And then, let's see, probably in the late 70s, they went to this color plate. They switched the colors, so they went to gold and blue. They ran these plates all the way up till 86. And then they went to this style, the Liberty plate, which they ran from 87 up to, I don't know, 87 to probably 98 or something like that. And then they went from there. So, but before that, like I said, they used to change the plates almost every year. And the commercial plates are hard to find, especially the early ones. But you can see how wide this is. So I run the commercial plate on the front just for fun. Actually, over here, this is a non-commercial plate. This is a passenger plate. And somebody repainted it. I think it's got the original paint on the back. Yeah, so originally it was that color, then somebody repainted it yellow and black, but it would originally, here's a 1929 plate. See, that's the original color, but these are all 1 year tags. I ran this on the front of my Model A hot rod shop truck for a while on the front of it, and same thing, it really started to deteriorate because they were only meant to be out 1 year. They're steel, just painted, and you know, so they're not reflective or nothing. They're just painted. At some point, they went to reflective plates, but I ran this on the front of my Model A truck. Now I just run regular plates on it behind the grill, but those are even older plates. I think it'd be fun to put this trinket on here. It's not really worth anything. It's twisted and banged up, like I said, but it'll be perfect to modify. These Studebaker bumpers got a super deep crown to them, so it's really hard to find stuff that fits them. But this guy, we're going to go and we're going to cut into it and make it fit this bumper. And then mount it up on the bumper like that. Obviously it's twisted, it'll have to sit straighter. It's twisted, man, this thing is twisted a lot. I wonder if I can put it in the vise and untwist it. It's got some damage in it too. It was doing some bumping, but we're going to boulder on up like this. I think it'd be kind of cool to have an accessory bumper guard in the front just for something different. And it'll have a piece of strap steel across the back to hold it on to the bumper. But I think that'll be kind of cool. This truck is de-chromed a little bit. When I took it out, I took the center. There should have been a piece of stainless down the center. I had another grill in here on the wall, which isn't on the wall anymore. But anyways, piece of chrome down the center. And these big holes, it would have had these bars like this all the way up. But I modified this. I cut it out because this truck was missing... Which bar was it missing? I can see... Where is it? One of these. How come I can't see them right? Oh yeah, this one right here. It was missing this bar on either side. And it was punched through, and there was holes punched back in the core support behind these two bars. And I've seen like one or two other trucks in the New York, Pennsylvania area that were like that. I think some dealer was buying these trucks back in the day, and they were cutting these grill bars out and punching through there and making like a tow bar bolted to the frame through the grill and flat towing these trucks around to the dealership. Because I've seen, like I said, 2 or 3 trucks with the same bar cut out of the grill and the same holes punched, like kind of like with a hatchet through the core support. Or they had a bumper guard on them where you would run through here, and this might have had a farm bumper guard on it one time. That might be more realistic, is you bought a bumper guard and you poked it through the grill and through that. That could have been a bumper guard. Anyways, I took these long bars are bent, so I took the long ones out and I used them to fix here. This is back in the 90s when you couldn't find parts for these. I mean, I've got some grill pieces now for collision parts. I've actually cut up like 4 or 5 of these trucks that were too rough to restore. So I've got grills and these pieces, headlight buckets, and other pieces, hoods and stuff. They're all rough, but they're, you know, if you wrecked it, you can't just go out to the corner and buy parts on eBay or anything really easy. So anyways, I made this grill by cutting the center every other bar out, and then there's a bunch of other trucks that copied it over the days. Like, you know, a lot of this work I did on this truck way back in 93, 94, 95. So what was that? Well, 30 years ago. So anyways, enough history, back to trinket placing. I clamped this kind of in the vise. Can I... Oh, maybe let's grab the bars and twist it. Oh, I can see it flailing out of here. Dang, that's coming around. It's getting... Hoop. Hoop. Ah, man. That did something. That's a lot better than it was. It's really kind of rough on my hands. Try that again. I don't want to bend these bars pushing on it, but hoop. Man. Ah. Painful. Man, I got it real close. Got it real close. These are, like I said, are these centered 5 inches? 5 inches. Huh. 5 inches. 5 inches. 5 1/4. Less than this lower one is moved over. To figure that out, but how are we going to figure out the slope of the bumper? I don't have any of those things like profile gauges. Do I have a profile gauge? I don't think so. How am I going to figure out how to trim this? Actually, let me measure the height of the bumper. 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 2. So I guess we could do math somehow. 4 1/4 by 2. 4 1/4 by 2. Let me think about this. So if we just kind of hang on to this guy. Oop, oop, oop. Hang there. We take a straight edge, and another straight edge, and a marker. Oh. 4 1/4 by 2. How wide is this hole here? This is 4 1/2. Okay. Well, I think if let's take 3/4 of an inch out of here. 3/4. Should I make some kind of pattern? Wait a minute. Is this shape close to it? Let me see. Man, that shape's really close. It's not quite... These are 3 1/2, I think, by something. Yeah, these are for my... Yeah, these are 3 1/2. So, let's guesstimate. Just gonna eyeball it. Eyeball it. Something like that. I might also lop the bottom of this off a little bit because it hangs down from the bumper quite a ways. I think I might just lop her. I think it'll look pretty good to be lopped off. Like I said, if this is a nice one, if this is a nice piece, you wouldn't want to do this. But since it's already twisted and mangled, and you know what? I want to put it on my truck anyways. It doesn't matter. I'm not ruining any great piece of artwork, and this is bent out. No. It's going to be is what it is. It's not really a really nice piece, so we'll make it good enough. So here's what I did there. Here's the lines. I'll cut her out, cut her off, cut her out, and then we'll come in here with some kind of strap steel, put a stud in here, and then the strap steel will come around the back of the bumper, and then I'll have to probably weld a flat piece in here with a bolt stud, and we'll roll a piece around or something. I don't know. We're figuring it out on the fly. Well, how does that look? It's not bolted on tightly yet because I got some fitting to do. But check it out. It's a little bit loose. I made a plate for the back I'll show you here, but it's just kind of sitting on here. It's going to clamp on eventually tighter, but I cut the bottom of it off here, so I took about 1 inch of that point off on the bottom, and then I butchered it out to kind of fit on the bumper, but it's going to look about like that. It leans back a little bit, kind of tapered, but then these are kind of tapered too, so I don't know. I think it looks kind of neat. It's vintage accessory, and the best part about accessories is you don't need to ruin anything. You just add them on and take them off if you don't like it. But I don't know. I'm going to run it just for something a little different, to put a little fancier flash on the front. It's banged up just enough to match the rest of the chrome on the truck. Neato. So let me take it off here. I'll show you what I'm working with on the back. Oh, it is what it is. So here's the back of it here. Whoa. So here's the back of it cut out here. And then I bent up this piece of flat stock, and I put a nutsert thingamajig in the bottom. And then here's what I cut it off. I welded a little plate in the bottom here. So the bottom bolt goes in here, like here. It's 3/8. And then I got a nut up here that's supposed to have the pinch here, but I need to take some of this bend out of it. It's too much bend. And what I did is I took a nylock nut and I bolted it through here. I could get rid of that nut and take the stud and the bolt and weld it to this plate, but I'd rather not do that if I don't have to. So I think I can hammer some of this out here, flatten this out a little bit. And I could also take another piece of this flat stock and just tack it to the inside of this to thicken this bracket up a little bit, which I might do as well. That'll shim it in like another 1/8 inch or so. I just need it to be able to clamp down. You know what? I could also slot my lower hole and kick the bottom of this in some. That would put the squeeze on it from both ends. Maybe I'll do that too. Okay, I went and I bent the bracket a little bit and slotted the holes a little bit. Now it fits tight. I just cranked it down a little bit. I'm going to put a nylock nut on the back of this nut to hold it here so it can't back off, and I got the lock washer on here. I think it's going to be good. It is maybe a tiny little bit twisted, but I got most of it out of it. It doesn't really matter. Everything's askew. I'll get the... Did that say $100? Oh, no. It said $30, then it said $10. I think I paid $10 for it. So I'll get a little lacquer thinner and clean all that off. I'm just going to blow some black paint on the bracketry there, but... Oh, the chrome's peeling on this one. I didn't notice that. Dang it. Oh, well. I'll take some quad zero steel wool and we'll clean up a little bit. You can already see it's these upper ones just in my thumb. It's getting a little shinier. Oh, yeah. A little quad zero steel wool, clean this up, brighten all this up a little bit. I need to find, I think I used a red paint marker maybe, and this is peeling off or something to touch this up, and then I can touch up the 3 here and have the red match it. on the front and there, but I think it looks pretty slick on there. A little, no, actually it'll do a little bit of bumping. That's what that rattle is I hear sometimes. It's the license plate rattling. Huh. Well, there we go. Figured that out. Is that loose? It's on that side. Why are you so rattly? Oh, it's fatiguing the plate. Well, it's rattly. Anyways, that's cool. I mean, that would do a little bit, you know, if you came up to something gentle, that would do better than banging into the grill, I guess. So we got a little bit of custom action here. I always wanted like doodads, and like I said, it's super hard to find anything for a Studebaker. They did make for the M16s, which is a 1.5 ton trucks. They do have like a square steel flat stock grill guard that kind of goes up and follows the grill, and it usually has like an S in the center of it. One of those would be cool to find, but they're pretty hard to find. And they, let's see, M16, they probably bolted on somehow. It would look cool on here, but can't find one of those, so I got all this extra nonsense hooked up. I should hook these up and use them for like turn signals. That way they'd be super, well, probably don't want to fire a fog light lens every time you need to turn on turn signal. So they just kind of ride there. But I love bolting on doodads on my Studebaker truck. You never know. I can just go by what's got on it. Like I added this, this truck originally came with no hood ornament. It just had a one-piece smooth trim, and then that hood ornament was an option, so I added this hood ornament I had off one of my other hoods. And you can see it's all pitted up, but you know, I added that at one point. I've added other trinkets here, doodads and whatnots. My dad and I louvered the hood a long time ago with a louver press. That's been louvered for a while. Other custom tricks I did is I raised the front wheel wells. I did this when I was a teenager. I actually took like 2 inches out of the fender. You see the rear fender over here? This is what originally they look like. You see how much meat is here between here and here? Well, on the front, when we did the subframe, it's a little wide and the tires wouldn't turn. So I had to, you know, the top of the fender would have been way down here for the opening. So I went and I cut it out and I formed it all. It's kind of butchery work. There's a whole lot of cuts and it's all welded up and mudded up. But, you know, I had to do that to get the tires to clear. I also didn't have running boards on it for a long time, so I chopped the bottom of the fenders off. They should stick down another 2 inches there. So it took me, they make fiberglass reproduction running boards, but these are original steel running boards, which always rust out where the brackets are. And it took me like 20 years to find enough pieces of running boards. These look like they're one piece. They're actually like a set of running boards and then a chunk of another running board, and then I still had to make my own patches. It's hard to tell because I Herculined them, but yeah, these are why, like, yeah, I patched it right here. There's a patch here because this is where the bracket used to be, and I just bolted it here. So I had to make this so the bead roll's a little bit smaller. I had to patch it there, and then I think I also had to patch it here. They were both rusted out. So, like I said, I wanted to run original steel running boards, and it took me, like I said, forever to find original running boards. For a long time, I didn't have door handles on it because I put these bear claw latches. I modified the original plate. I should have just left the latches, but this is back in the 90s when, you know, everybody's like, oh, put bear claw latches and everything, which they are a safer latch, but they rattle and it drives me nuts. So last year, I probably did a video on it, I can't remember, but I made some bracketry and added the original door pulls off another truck. This is my original door handle, but obviously this pulls off a red truck. So I got the interior door handles to work to pull the latches, and got the original outside door handles to work, which are super hard to find because these are Studebaker specific, 41 to 48 only, and a lot of times they're stuck and rusted and broke. It's really hard to find these. It took me a long time to find a set of those. One of the things I want to do upgrade wise is I modified the original dashboard, made it into like a 90s like street rod all smoothie here. I've got several original dashboards and I had 2 of them sandblasted, and I have original gauges and stuff. I like to put the original gauges, which go here behind the wheel, in a rectangle, and I'd take all my VDO gauges and I would hide them down below another panel. But I'd like to put original style, original looking dash back in it instead of this like smooth stuff. And another thing I gotta do is I flush mounted the windshield. I had custom glass made, and I used urethane and glued it to the outside of the windshield frame so there's no gasket, and then V-butted it with a clear silicone. I want to, first of all, these windows are tinted gray. I don't know if you can tell, but they're tinted gray, and they are horrible in the dark. You can't see through it, and it's really hard to see at night in this truck. So I want to put a clear windshield back in it for one thing. But I want to get you can get the rubber gasket now. I want to get the original size glass made, put the rubber gasket in it, and then I have the chrome strip to go down the center. I want to put a chrome strip back in it, because then if I have a chrome strip, I can get a visor for this, like a Fulton style visor, which will clamp onto the rain guards here, but it has a foot that pushes on the stainless steel piece in the center. So I would like to put a Fulton style visor on the truck. I think that'd look pretty nice. So I can't do that until I un-V-butt the windshield, and then it'll match with the stainless steel down the center. Then we'll have the chrome strip in the center of the windshield and look more stock-ish. And eventually I want to paint the truck the original green, like hunter style green. That's close to a Studebaker color. It's not quite right, but I would like to paint the whole truck green eventually, but need some more bodywork and stuff before that can happen. So I'm just going to run around flat black for now, but bam. Another little trinket doodad right up on the front bumper. That's what we needed. More junk bolted on the truck. I love it. So it looks pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Well, that's about it. We took the Studebaker for a ride and added a little trinket. So, see you guys next time. Working on something here. Adding a little bling, one piece at a time, to all old cars at the Quick Speed Shop.